Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Darren James. I'm glad to be here with all of you guys here today. If you're new here, please remember to like, subscribe and comment to my channel as it helps a bunch with the YouTube algorithm and it helps me a lot as well. But with that being said, let's get on with today's episode, shall we? Okay, so last Friday was probably one of the most unexpected news stories that possibly came out on that day. News came out that nearly after 30 years, the rapper was shot, Tupac Shakur, at the age of 25. Police revealed that they had actually arrested a man by the name of Durain, I think I got it right anyway, Keffe D. Davis, on Friday morning in the US. For us in the UK, it was like late evening sometime. And I was really shocked by that news. I was like, oh, okay, you know. But then at the same time, I was like, oh, really? Is this one of those fake clickbait stories that you're just trying to get out there just for a few clicks? Because there's always like loads of suspicions, conspiracy theories regarding Tupac's death. So I was like, okay, whatever. But then I started seeing more buzz about it. Then I seen a press release about it, press comments rather, by the Las Vegas Police Department. So I thought, okay, well, this is real. Great. Brilliant. Hopefully now we can get somewhere in terms of finding out who actually killed Tupac. But this article says that Tupac's stepbrother has spoken out over the following news that Durain Davis was arrested for the drive-by shooting of his brother or stepbrother Tupac. So nearly 30 years after the rapper was fatally shot at the age of 25 years old, police revealed they arrested a man named Durain Keffe D. Davis, which happened on Friday the 29th of September. Davis was indicted by a grand jury for one count of murder with a deadly weapon. Clark County prosecutor told the court, I can't really bother saying this guy's name, but yeah, it's there anyway. Davis, who was a member of the California-based gang Southside Compton Crips, has previously publicly admitted to being inside the white Cadillac, which drove up to next to the BMW Shakur was in when he was shot 4 times on the 7th of September in 1996. In his memoir titled Compton Street Legend, notorious Keffe D street level accounts of Tupac and Biggie, murders, death row origins, Suge Knight, Puffy Combs, and crooked cops rather. Davis claiming to be one of the last living witnesses to the shooting, or is claiming to be one of the last living witnesses to the shooting, said he discussed the shooting of Shakur with federal and local authorities when he was arrested in 2010, facing life in prison on drug charges. Davis' book claims that they promised they would shred the indictment and stop the grand jury if I helped them out. The Las Vegas Metro Police Department former detective Craig Cadden said or told CNN, Davis confessed to his role in the murder along with the other conspirators in 2009, but he had a profit agreement so that they couldn't utilize that information that he was providing against him. So that explains why he was never arrested until now. Former police detective said, but then he began to go out publicly boasting about his involvement in the murder, and that led to law enforcement in Las Vegas taking another look at his claims, and ultimately he basically talked himself right into jail. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Like, what kind of idiot goes on, whether it be like a podcast or a TV interview or whatever it may be, and talk about how you were involved with a murder which you have not yet been charged with? Like hello, do you realise what you are saying right now? Like, this camera's watching you, unless you're on a podcast, and probably not. Like, you're talking yourself into jail. Like, do you not realise what you are doing right now? Maybe that was his goal, I don't know. If it is, it's a very stupid goal. But maybe, at the same time, he couldn't live with the grief anymore. And he decided, like, you know, I may as well come out of it. But instead of handing himself into authorities, he thought he'd do it a different way by going on, you know, the BET show and talk about being involved with the Tupac Shakur murder back in the day. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this case. I hope to God that this justice for Tupac's family and his friends and any other loved ones that he's left behind. The fact that this has gone so many years, 27 years this case has gone on for. 27 years. This is older than Tupac. Like, that's crazy. And nothing has been done about it in some ways. It just baffles my mind. Like, I don't know why I feel so strongly about it. Like, maybe just because, like, I feel for the family in some ways. Like, if I was in that situation where I had somebody close to me who had died, regardless of how it was, like it was a gunshot and a murder, but yet there were no answers, and any questions that we had asked, there was nothing we got back from those questions. I would be a little, overwhelmed, upset, frustrated, all those feelings that you could possibly put into that sort of situation. You could understand how they would feel. And recently, Tupac's brother, well, his stepbrother, I should say, have addressed the arrest after rapper's stepbrother, Hip-Hop Shakur, tells CNN, "This news is bittersweet. We've been through decades of pain. They have known about this guy who's been running his mouth for years." He continued, Davis, been telling them the same story the whole time for 27 years. He was solved, so why now? For us, this is not over. We want to know why. And if there were any accomplices to the murder as well. We were in a constant state of grief and remorse. We are in a constant state of grief and remorse and pain. Because we had to relive it and relive what happened and think about, it is just as difficult. And that's another thing right there. They're reliving this case all over again. 27 years later, they're back to square one. Where now they gotta relive this whole situation again. In hopes that finally, this case will be solved and this guy will be put to justice. And the family can now rest easily knowing that the person who killed their loved one is behind bars and will probably serve the rest of his life behind bars at the same time. But continuing on with the story, Las Vegas Police Lieutenant Jason Johnson said in a news conference, police believe Davis is the only living suspect related to the investigation of Shakur's murder. Lieutenant Johnson said that Drain Davis was that shot caller for the group of the individuals that committed this crime. He orchestrated the plan that was carried out to commit this crime. All other 3 suspects are deceased. In a news conference on Friday, Las Vegas Police Department Sheriff Kevin McMill, or McHill, however you pronounce his last name, reflected on Davis' arrest after the result of countless hours, really decades of work by men and women in the department's homicide section. The sheriff said, "Well, I know there have been many people who did not believe that the murder of Tupac Shakur was important to this police department. I am here to tell you that was simply not the case. It was not the case back then, and it was not the case today. I just hope that there is a final nail in that coffin, so to speak. That this case finally gets put to rest, everyone can move on in some ways, and that we finally have the answers that we've all been searching for. Not just the family and friends, we've all been searching for these answers. Even fans of Tupac, like myself, I've always found it a bit suspect that there was never a witness involved. No, not involved, but there was never a witness that came forward that saw even a little bit of piece of evidence, or not evidence, but even saw one little thing that seemed odd or very suspicious. That always bothers me. And the fact that this took place after a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, at the height of Mike Tyson's prime, when loads of people would have gone to see this fight against whoever he was facing. So you're telling me not one person there saw anything other than the people who were involved in the case. That just seems strange to me. I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a police detective. I can't really say much on the matter. I can only give my own opinion, as can you. But to me, it always seems a bit strange how there was never any sort of conviction of any sort. But I guess that's what it is. I have heard many times over the years, oh well, it was a gang shooting, probably. It was gang-related shooting, so why would police waste their time on this sort of situation when it was clearly just a gang violent crime gone wrong. Whatever was going on, things escalated and things got out of hand. Or maybe the plan was to always shoot Tupac. I don't know. There's been many conspiracies over the years. Who was involved? Like Puff Diddy Combs, Biggie Smalls. I think Suge Knight was probably mentioned at least once. I can't be sure about that. But there's always a bunch of conspiracies going on. Hell, for many years, even growing up as a kid, there was conspiracy that Tupac was even alive. He was in an island somewhere, like just chilling. Why not? And then quite recently, a few years back during the pandemic, I think it was, a video came out in New York City where a person apparently looked like Tupac was just chilling in a bunch of crowds in New York City. I'm like, really? Like, first of all, why was a person fake their own death? To get out the fame? To get out the spotlight? Okay, sure, I can see that. So 1 minute they're chilling on an island. Okay. There's some little holes in that logic right there, but okay. And the next thing you know, years later, I got bored of the island, I'll go to New York City and chill around for there. Like, chill with the residents, go sightseeing. Seeing a brand new New York City that looks, in today's version of New York City. Like, why not, Like, that just seems stupid to me, but, conspiracy theories can be stupid. But one thing's for sure is that the murder of Tupac has never been solved. I hope this does get solved. I've said it already, I know, but I really do hope it gets solved, and that answers are given for the families, and justice is given for the families as well of Tupac. I was a big fan of Tupac. I grew up with his music way later on after he had passed. So I was born in 1994. So around the time I started listening to music of any sort, it was around the early 2020s? No. In the early 2000s. I started going down a rabbit hole of hip-hop music like Tupac, Biggie, Eminem, NWA, 50 Cent, G-Unit, Kanye West. The list goes on in terms of rappers I grew up listening to. I still listen to this day for that matter. And Tupac, he has some bangers, let's be honest here. He has songs like Ghetto Gospel, featured Elton John, California Love, featured Dr. Dre, Brenda's Got a Baby. That song, I remember listening to that song, I'm like, wait, is this story real? What's going on with the story? It sounds like this woman's dumping a baby in a bin and walking away, her own baby? What the hell's going on here? It was a bizarre story. There's other songs like Dear Mama, which is a very lovely song by Tupac, where he talks about his relationship with his mother, all the things that she did for him and his brother growing up, trying to make ends meet while being a single mother, trying to do every single thing she can to keep a roof over their heads, keep food on the table, while Tupac may not exactly been acting the right way towards the law on the side of things, but it is saying that his mother never gave up on him. And she was actually in prison while pregnant with Tupac. And she even says at the beginning of the video, she thought she was going to have the baby in prison. But then, I can't remember what happened, but she was released. And she was relieved because then she could finally have a baby. She could have the baby, which was Tupac, and not be in jail. So she could have the baby in her custody and be out of jail. I don't know what she did, but that was just what I remember in the beginning of the video. And I know Tupac's done some movies as well. I've not seen any of his movies. I've heard some things about his movies. I'm very curious to check them out at some point, see what they're like. Not expecting much, because I think that he probably did some crime, action sort of movies, but, could be quite fun. Get to see Tupac on the screen for the first time, why not? But no, in all seriousness, as a hip-hop music fan, as a fan of Tupac in general, I hope that this case gets put closed for good, and for the right reasons as well. If this guy is the last main suspect alive in terms of Tupac's murder, then I hope everything goes well for the family and friends and all those involved, and for us the fans as well. And I hope that, you know, Tupac can rest easily now, and as well as his family as well, because nobody deserves to have questions left unanswered, especially in a situation such as a shooting, a drive-by shooting of your child. Or, you know, no one should have to live with that. No one should have to live with so many unanswered questions about your son's murder, or anyone's murder for that matter. And yeah, hopefully some good things come out of this. Like, I'm curious to know what you guys think of this. Do you think now that this guy's been put as a suspect and now he's been charged, do you think this guy will be... I think the plan is to get him in front of a jury next. I don't know when exactly that's going to happen. Or whether or not they'll be televised through like Law and Crime or Court TV, who usually do like live stream court trials. But if it does, I'll be there to watch it. But what do you think? Do you think that we will finally get the answers, but not the answers as such, but we will finally get justice for Tupac, and that his family will finally get justice for Tupac? What's your favourite song of Tupac? What's your favourite film of Tupac? Inspirational quote through Tupac? Whatever it may be, let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching and listening. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.